Got a student approaching to the left there, and it's a beautiful girl who was in a rush, and he's crushing it. Andrew Tate was wrong about women. Now, in 2023, I was obsessed with him, and he changed my life 100% for the positive. He taught me things like hard work, discipline. You're not always gonna have a fun time when you're doing your job. There's no such thing as 100% fun. You're always gonna have to work. But there was one thing he said about women that I wasn't sure was true or not. And after 3 years of speculation, doing tens of thousands of approaches, I figured out he was wrong. And it was something in my mind that I really had to try and understand. And guess what? Everyone is not correct sometimes. Everyone can have wrong things and right things and things that are nuanced about them. Just because you don't like Tate doesn't mean he doesn't have good things to say. Just because you love Tate doesn't mean there's things that aren't correct, that are incorrect. Anyways, we're here in Budapest. I'm on boot camp. I'm approaching lots of beautiful women with my students. So we're gonna jump into this video after we get into momentum. Let's go. I don't know if I'm loud or not because my ears, because my allergies, I can't hear through my... Andrew Tate got me to start smoking. He got me to stop being a brokey. He got me out of my victim mindset, big time. He got me realizing that I'm depressed because my life sucks, not because of some random ailment from the sky. If you have depression, then I don't know what to tell you, I'm sorry. He got me to realize that there is a lot of psychology about women that you must understand. A lot of concepts in dating that are very valuable that I've shared over the course of my videos. Biggest one being attach value to your attention. He taught me the importance of having a really strong brotherhood around you that's going to lift you up the most out of anything. He's the first one to make me realize the negative in liberal ideology and how COVID was pretty much just a scam-demic is what he called it. Now, a lot of these things you might think I am crazy, but these are what I believe. He opened my eyes to what you could call the Matrix. A lot of the things in society that are not good, that are happening, that everyone thinks is normal. So that's why whenever I saw his takes on women, I was forced to analyze it and ask myself if it was true. But the number one thing that I think Tate may have been wrong about is women chase men for money and status alone. Women don't chase men for money and status alone. They chase men who are confident, fun, present, and know how to let loose. I think the number one mistake a guy can make is thinking that making money is going to get him girls. So a lot of what Tate preaches is actually not what he did. So when he was younger, he would approach. When he was younger, he would go out to the bar and approach. That was just in that generation. He had models all around him whenever he was running his webcam industry, and he actually had game. One of his oldest courses, How to Be a G, talks about how you should approach women. But now, because he wants to sell his own course on making money, he puts the idea in your head that if you're a brokey, you have no inherent value, you cannot get women because you're low status. Why would she want to be with someone who is broke, doesn't have money, doesn't have the look? And on paper, it's a simple way of looking at it, and it makes a little bit of sense. Like, okay, you're broke, you don't have money, you can't get girls. But the truth is, if you know how to approach, and you know how to spike emotions, and you know how to hold frame, and you believe that you are amazing no matter what, you're going to be able to get women. It's as simple as that. Too often, I have clients who have plenty of money. They look really good. They actually look very, very handsome, tall, and they can't approach a girl to save the life of them. Not only that, when they get rejected and things don't go well, they completely lose frame. What do I mean by they lose frame? They completely lose their sense of confidence. Like, it dissolves. It's literally made of paper. Like, it just gets blown away. Whereas learning game is really learning how to create an internal sense of core confidence that never leaves, that's there forever. And whenever I saw Tate videos, he would say the worst thing you can do is run around and learn day game at the mall. Which honestly, I agree with that. I wouldn't go to the mall to learn game. I would go to the bar because that's where all the baddies are. He would say that whenever you have a Bugatti, when you're famous, when you're rich, when you have status, the girls will come to you. Well, that's not practical advice for most people, number one, to have a Bugatti and to become famous. But also, you're going to attract the wrong girl. You're going to attract a girl who's there for the money. And she's still going to be fucking the fucking bartender or the club promoter, the fun guy, the artist, the surfer. They're still going to fuck the guy with game. So you're going to get a girl who's using you as a last resort. And there's a sort of transactional behavior with that. And I think that makes sense for Tate. If he has $1 billion and he wants to have more of a transactional relationship with women, not saying he does, I'm sure. And you know what? Here's another thing. I actually think Tate has a lot of game. He is very fucking charismatic, and I've seen all of his videos. He used to approach. There's a course, How to Be a G, one of Tate's first ever courses. In one segment, he talks about how you should do one approach per day. If you see a cute girl, you should go and say hi to her, and how you shouldn't take rejection personal, how it wasn't that she didn't like you, it just was bad timing. But why do I have thousands of hours of time out at night, and anytime I mention anything about me running a business, it just comes off like I'm self-qualifying and the girls get turned off. Every single time, even with the current girl I'm dating now, if I tell her about stories of me persevering through the hardest years of my business, she doesn't give a fuck. She just says, oh yeah, that sounds like it was really hard. You paid off all your debt, you grinded every day, you lost your health in the process a little bit. Wow. But if I tell her about all the times I had the best, most fun, epic moments of my life, she's like, oh my God, it's so attractive, it's so sexy. Girls like fun. They like a guy who has almost a delusional sense of confidence for no reason. But it's not delusional, it's grounded in just who you are. They like a guy who can walk into a party and court attention and not break under social pressure and have a flirtatious vibe and not be ashamed of it. There's so many things that money can't fix that. Money can't fix that at all. They like a guy who's loose and can dance and can like talk dirty in bed and has a flow to him, a flow state. They like a guy who can surf. They like a guy who has passions, things that he's working on. They like a guy who is kind of like into poetry, and it depends on the girl, like guys who like play guitar. You know what girls actually don't like as much, or doesn't matter to them as much? A big jacked bodybuilder. You know who thinks that is cool? You know who think a big jacked bodybuilder is cool? Who do they get props from the most? Do girls walk up to them and like, oh my God, I want to grab your muscles? No, it's other guys. Other guys will see a big jacked dude, myself included, and be like, bro, you're fucking huge, good job. You'll gain the respect of other men, 100%. You should do that for yourself if you enjoy it. But thinking getting big and jacked is going to impress a girl, it might a little bit, but not if you're too serious. Not if you don't know how to read social cues. And there was even studies done where they say that the girls like a surfer look or like a swimmer's look. They want an athletic guy, of course. And if you are out of shape, get in shape, because that's going to fix your game faster than anything else. But if you have game, you can override a lot. I'm not saying get unhealthy. It's actually dumb. But the point I'm trying to make is, for a while, I neglected the fun and more creative, artistic, and passionate, loving, I almost want to say feminine, but I don't like that word. But that side of myself, I've let that go. And for a couple of years, I was in this like hard, rigid, disciplined, and very, very ambitious era where I wanted to achieve something in my business. And I did that, and I achieved it, but I basically had no dating life in the process. And then when I finally came back to my more social, fun, just going out, being social, I mean, that's when right now, my dating life is thriving. I mean, it better be thriving. I'm going out 50 hours a week talking to women. So, I mean, it's coaching. A lot of it's coaching, so I'm not just doing it for myself, of course. So, actually, all of it's coaching. Not even a lot of it. It's all coaching. It's boot camps. By the way, if you want to run a boot camp, let me know. I can get you there in 5 days. and then you have a 1-year transformation program attached to that. So yeah. Anyways, to conclude this video, who I think is the most impressive, who I look up to the most, is somebody who can not only achieve their health goals or some sort of health goal, achieve business goals, while still achieving their social and dating life goals. They don't become too serious in the process. They don't become so unpleasant to be around, and they're able to have fun and let loose. I don't really look up to like some degenerate surfer, club promoter, party guy who can get laid, but he ruins his life and has nothing to show for it in the process. He just devotes his entire life to getting laid. That's not that impressive. I don't look up to a guy who's super fucking serious and only makes money, and then he can get girls, but it's only through transactional relationships. Although I do admire someone who can work hard. But I look up to a guy who can do a little bit of both. He can achieve business success, and he knows what attracts women, and he works on that as well. So you should do that. And that's just my message to you, and that is the point of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.